Always make sure you dress like those who live in Nigeria, because robbers can tell with your mode of dressing you just arrived, and that makes you a target. While you are in Uber or Bolt, avoid blowing and speaking plenty grammar, because drivers listen to your conversation and that makes you vulnerable to insecurities. Hello, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a little bit different because I would say today is not my video. This content is not my content. The content that I'm going to be sharing with you today actually belongs to a member of the TravelToNaija private Facebook community. If you're not following the private Facebook community and you're thinking about traveling to Nigeria, I really implore and ask that you join the group. It's free to join. I'm going to leave the link down below, but I would say it's probably been voted one of the most resourceful platforms for traveling to Nigeria, like in the past year. So incredible community of people down there. Actually, if you're a member of the community already, leave a comment below. Just shout TravelToNaija fam for me so that I know that you're out there. The 20th of August, Babajide Elegbe actually dropped a very long comment which turned out to be super useful, and it was about the security tips while traveling in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria. So he was sharing some tips. Some of the comments that were under his posts were like, these are very good tips, thank you for sharing. These are all good tips, of which my husband is always on point, thank you. Oh my shit, that's a lot, but good information. I've been there 4 times, so I hope I get it right. Tolani goes, Obaruwa, okay, someone else goes, thanks for this, though the last part got me rolling. No manual for staying safe in Lagos. Wow, that's crazy, somebody else says. I wish I knew this before a week ago, but now after reading this, I have learned so much. Thank you for putting this out. I'll never make that mistake again. Someone else said, see babe, tagging somebody else, we need to make sure we're on top of all these things all the times. Someone else goes, thanks, lots of good advice. So basically what he shared, I believe, was so useful that I thought it was worth repeating it here for you guys, right? And if you agree with any point, feel free to leave a comment below. So I'm basically going to be going through his posts and sharing that information with you with the hope that you are more prepared for your trip to Lagos, Nigeria. Let me first put a disclaimer out there that this video is not in any way, shape trying to discourage you from traveling to Nigeria, right, or traveling to Lagos. If anything, it's more of trying to just make you better informed and a little bit more alert, right, with regard to, you know, possibilities. Like, give you an example, Mexico is probably one of the biggest destinations for travel in the world, right? And I have friends that have nearly been kidnapped in Mexico. And during one of my trips years ago, I nearly got kidnapped with some friends. And still, it's the industry, the tourism, the travel industry is huge in Mexico. So this is in no way trying to discourage you from traveling to Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, because it's an amazing place. So let's get straight into the video. Number 1, he said, with regards to security tips while in Lagos, Nigeria, always make sure you're picked up by trusted family member. If you have to use a third party, make sure it is recommended and always change them regularly. So what he's saying here is that if you're getting picked up from the airport, right, make sure that it is someone that you trust. I guess it's also implying that you should necessarily not just grab a random Uber. Basically, try and find someone that can connect you to somebody that they trust and they can recommend. I think this makes a lot of sense. Number 2, he said, always avoid moving or arriving in the night. If you have to, make sure you follow the above, and also make sure that the driver knows various routes, and a very good driver at that. So I completely understand this point that, you know, nighttime in general is not a great time to move in any new city that you're not familiar with, right? So, and if you do decide to, make sure it's someone that you know that's picking you up. Makes sense. Third point, when moving around, avoid lonely routes. I completely agree with this. Like in general, Try and use major highways, avoid little corners so that you avoid potential drama. Number 4, always make sure you dress like those who live in Nigeria, because robbers can tell with your mode of dressing you just arrived, and that makes you a target. Do as in Rome like the Romans. This applies to anywhere, right? Especially when you're in Nigeria, I always say, like, don't dress too rich, don't dress like a tourist, dress like everybody else, right? So that you're not, you don't stand out, right? So this is a point I've raised in previous videos, but it's a very good point to raise too. Next point, areas and places like Ikorodu, Aja, always take extra precaution with those areas and access. I don't familiarize myself with those areas. I don't go there often, but it's good to know that one should take extra precaution, right? I guess extra precaution could also mean making sure you have a driver with you and not going there alone, and just be a little bit more, I guess, aware. Don't if you're driving, don't wind your windows down, things like that. Number 6, never ever carry cash with you. And if you have to make sure it's the highest Nigerian currency, which is 1,000 denomination. That way it's easier to move around, right? So I guess cash, for safety reasons, it makes sense not to carry cash that much, right? I'm not quite sure what he means by it's the highest denomination currency if you're moving it around. I guess it means okay, makes sense with regard to you have less bills if you carry the higher denomination, so you don't have to carry that much money with you physically. Number 7, always make sure you stay in good hotels or family house, because even hotel staff are evil-minded and prone to giving out information. So stay in hotels should be reputable ones, and if apartment, make sure it's in a gated estate. This is very similar to what I said with regard to I think I mentioned about don't stay in an Airbnb until you watch this video. I'm going to post that video up there. When it comes to accommodation, yes, I always tell people, especially if you're new in the country or it's your first time visiting, try and stay in hotels that are well established, that, if it's the Hilton or if it's 4 Points Sheraton, something that is linked to a brand that you know really well. And also you can use an Airbnb, as I mentioned too in that video, but make sure you stay one in a gated estate that is safe, that they have security. So that's a very good point. Number 8, I completely agree with this. I think a lot of times in Nigeria, a lot of people are not aware that people are listening, right? So avoid, talking about money, talking about what you do. Just avoid anything that can make you a target, essentially. Number 9, he mentioned always make sure you move with someone that is trustworthy and black, because skin color also makes you vulnerable, especially when you're alone. Just women going around in Uber, Bolt, or taxi, right? So I completely agree. If you're a foreigner, it's really, it just feels safer if you have someone that is Nigerian, that is local with you. I think that's a point I always raise in my videos too. Number 10, it is important to move with someone who is local and driver that knows the routes, because it can easily spot rogue policemen and can also challenge them if something is amiss. This is a super great point, right? That if you have a driver that is, Ojasi, he understands the routes, he understands what's going on in Lagos, he can predict any potential issues coming, right? So I completely agree with that. Number 11, avoid using your phone in Lagos traffic to avoid thieves smashing and grabbing it and your stuffs, because it happens. Truth is, I've never experienced this. I've heard one, here and there that it happens, right? So it's a very great point that, don't be the statistics, right? You don't want to be the 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 or whatever that happens to you. Don't use your phone visibly in Lagos traffic. If anything, use an earpiece and hide your phone, right? Just to not attract, potential nonsense. Number 12, don't be too quick to tell people you don't live in Nigeria if you're asked, because that sends signals and they believe you have millions on you. That is interesting, actually, because a lot of times, one is keen to say, oh, I'm not from around here, in an innocent way, or to just maybe inform policemen that, oh, I didn't know the rules, I'm not from around here. But that statement could potentially get you in trouble too. So it's good to be aware of that. Number 13, when arriving, don't let all family and friends know you have. Landed only the ones you want to tell, and make sure you see them during the day, except trusted ones, because even families can be trusted. You know what? This is a very good point. Like, we have all heard, I'm sure, stories, Nigerians here, of people whereby their families have planned things for them, right? And I completely understand why a lot of Nigerians in general, when they're telling their families they're traveling, it's like, oh, I'm coming. They don't say the date, or they don't even tell them until they've arrived in the country, right? Just as a precaution, because you never know what kind of evil mind some people have, right? So this is a great point. Number 14, there are a few veterans on here who have been going to Lagos recently and often since COVID, and they have experience and contacts they can share with you if you need. I absolutely love this. So he's referring to the TravelToNaija Facebook community. There's so many people on there that have traveled frequently, that are OGs, like they know how to travel to Naija easily, they know how to navigate it, right? So if you want to be connected to anyone in the group, join the group and reach out to them and they'll be happy to help. Number 15, my brother has been to Lagos 3 times since August last year and got picked up by a driver from Cotonou Airport all the way to Lagos by a trusted driver recommended by Funke. He also has someone else who picked him up from Lagos Airport in December and decided to use someone else, right? So yes, I did recommend a driver that a lot of people actually were really, really happy with. If you want, send me an email and I'll be happy to share that information with you. Number 16, always good to change drivers to avoid them knowing your routine and movement or them becoming too familiar. A driver once turned up with his friend to pick my brother up the last time, hence the change of driver this time around. Wow, like that would be annoying, right? So it's a very good point actually. Number 17, avoid partying and clubbing on the mainland if you live on the island, or island if you live on the mainland. This way you avoid police checkpoints and rogues because you will be driving through familiar routes and not lonely and quiet routes. I completely understand this, right? I think if you're on, especially, you know, the bridges, you don't want to be crossing Third Mainland Bridge, Echo Bridge in the middle of the night, right? No, don't do it. So this is a very, very great point that I agree with extremely. Number 18, I think it follows on from the previous one too. Example is if you want to move in Ikeja, avoid Ikeja GRA or Sheraton Link Bridge because these routes have high presence of policemen and shanties under the bridge. Rather, make use of Ikorodu or Maryland Road that will be busy and free military barracks close to Maryland, right? So just telling you how, if you're familiar with Ikeja, what you should do around there. Number 19, in Ajah Lekki axis, he said lots of Yahoo boys and girls live in that axis. So policemen, the rogues one, and EFCC operatives tends to grab anyone off the road, labeling them Yahoo because of their dressing and or looks. This is highly, highly important, right? So really be careful. So he concludes, Babajide concludes and says, so guys, just to be careful out there and take extra precautions because there is no manual to staying safe in Lagos and Nigeria as a whole. That was incredible, Babajide. This video is dedicated to you. Thank you for, taking the time to really share this information with all of us. I think, it's better to be, informed and learn from people that are experiencing Lagos day to day, like me, like yourself. Thank you once again for sharing this information with us. So guys, I'd love to know, were there any additional points that you would like to add to the video? Leave them in the comment section below. If you made it to this point, because this is a long video, I want you to say, you know what, Sassy, we made it. I love when I say we made it, right? Sassy, we made it, because we all made it here. Babajide made it here. He contributed to this incredible video. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, and I will see you on my next video.